How are we doing, guys? And welcome to another Transfer News Daily Update. So, guys, first things first, happy Yorkshire Day to everyone. Happy Yorkshire Day to everyone from all Leeds TV. And I hope everyone is having a great day today. And obviously, we can't celebrate as we normally would on Happy Yorkshire Day, but nevertheless, hope you have a great day, guys. So this is the first Transfer Daily I've done of the series. Make sure you check out Joe's previous 4 videos. This is a daily series that we're going to do every single day, hence the word daily. For the rest of the transfer window, going through the latest news, not just Leeds, just general stuff as well, to do with transfers that will ultimately relate to Leeds United's progress in the Premier League. So, first bit of news and a second done deal of this transfer window potentially. And it's obviously not one for the first team, and it's a name being mentioned a lot. Joe Gelhardt from Wigan in a £1 million deal. So, it looks like we've got a fantastic deal here, guys. Fantastic deal. Young player, very promising striker, and to get a striker for 1 million at any kind of level is a very, very good piece of business for me. Someone Paul Cook, again, had this to say about earlier on in the season. He's got that special talent in football to create space inside his areas, and he only has to look at his finish. The goalkeeper doesn't move, referring to one of his goals. He's a great kid. He's a really nice young man, and if he keeps working hard and keeps his head down, he's going to have a really bright future in the game. So yeah, guys, it's a really encouraging one, this. Really encouraging one. Again, we've not seen a lot of Gelhardt because he's not played as much senior football, but he looks like someone who's very strong in the air, despite not being particularly tall. He's got good physical strength, holds the ball up well, pace to run in behind, can finish. He's got a lot about him that suggests a top quality striker in the future. And obviously, he's not going to be someone who's going to walk into the first team. He's probably going to be more used as an under-23s project, as a lot of our younger signings have been used in that way. But hopefully, I think he probably would be third or fourth choice in terms of senior options. So he's probably not going to see a lot of game time, especially in the first team next season. Probably only cup games, I'd imagine. But yeah, he's a name being mentioned a lot, and it's just a confirmation that the deal is looking likely to be complete in a £1 million deal. And it's a fantastic deal, and it makes a real change, us getting a good deal for an academy player or a younger player, because it's something we've not had, has it really? We've sold Lewis Cook undervalued, Byram undervalued, Delph undervalued, etc., etc. So many players in the past undervalued. Charlie Taylor in the end undervalued as well. And it's something that Darren McAntony has pointed out, but he's not necessarily having a go at us. He's not having a go at us. He's just having a go at the EFL in general. Because let's be honest, the EFL is a bit of a shambles, if we're being honest, aren't we? To be honest, we've got a fantastic deal for ourselves, but that this has been allowed to happen is pretty crazy, really. But look, I'm not complaining. At the end of the day, we've had it done to ourselves enough over the years. We probably deserve one back. But yeah, I have to agree with what Darren McAntony is saying, that when clubs do go into administration, there needs to be a football person in there, really, to make sure things like this don't happen. Because for Wigan, they're getting £1 million for a player that could be worth 4 or 5 million. But look, who cares at the end of the day? Who cares in terms of Leeds United? And that is, no one cares about us when we struggle. So I don't particularly care about Wigan, to be honest. Might seem harsh, but to be honest, from where I'm from, Southport, we got voted out of the league in 1978, I think it was, for Wigan. So, you know what? I don't really care, to be honest. Let's get on with it anyway. So, big news. Big news. San Francisco 49ers look to increase stake in Leeds United. And we've seen, obviously, a lot of mention of the San Francisco 49ers, a lot of clickbait stuff. But look at the top of that headline. Look at the source of that headline, the New York Times. So, let's be honest, guys. This is looking positive. The San Francisco 49ers, it's always been rumoured that if we went into the Premier League, they would increase their stakeholding. It makes sense. The Premier League, the size of the Premier League brand, you've got the most marketable manager, arguably, potentially in Europe, Marcelo Bielsa. And that's the thing, isn't it, guys? There's a lot of marketing opportunity with Leeds United being in the Premier League. It was obvious from day one, if we went back into the Premier League, things like this would happen. I'm sure we're having daily offers for Leeds United, and that's the thing, isn't it, guys? We got used to it. Going to be a lot of stories like this. Probably going to be QSI links coming out again. And yeah, San Francisco 49ers, obviously Parag Marav is already on the board, quite not heavily involved, but he's on the board already. So there is already a San Francisco 49ers potential influence at the football club. Obviously, they injected £10 million of capital in the 2018 transfer window. So yeah, it's an interesting one. If that helps us in transfer deals, negotiations, and adds to our transfer budget, then I am all for it, guys. I'm all for it. I'd like Andre Radjani, certainly for the next couple of years, to retain his majority stakeholding, because he's run this club expertly. I think he's done an absolutely outstanding job of running this football club. And, money doesn't solve everything in the Premier League. We've seen it with Villa, Fulham, so we just need to be sensible with it. If there's an extra cash injection, then I'm all for it, guys. Let us know in the comments down below if you're excited about this. And I'm sure you are, guys. We've got to be excited about this. The 49ers, they've already got 10% of the club. Let's see if we can add to our transfer budget a little bit. So, to go on to the next story anyway, guys, and this is an outgoing, again, not particularly surprising, like Joe Gelhardt. It's a striker who's been mentioned a lot. Ryan Edmondson is now being confirmed as an Aberdeen player. It was confirmed yesterday, and as you can see, later on yesterday evening. Ryan Edmondson is an Aberdeen player, and best of luck to him. But for me, he has to do his business in the SPL for me to have a future at Leeds United. It's not trying to put pressure on him, but if he can't do it in the SPL, then you've got to have big questions for his long-term future at this football club. So hopefully it's a big opportunity for him. I think he suits the SPL very well. Very physical, direct, and he can score goals. He's shown it in the academy. He's had a slight last 12 months, his progress has stalled a little bit. I think obviously injury plays a part in that. He's not played as many games for the under-23s. It plays a part, but I think he's a big, big potential. I'm sure he's going to do well in the SPL, and potentially he might be a good shout to be, in amongst the top scorers. Hopefully anyway, guys. Because if he is, it's big, big promise for us. But to go on to another deal that's been mentioned a lot and kind of gone quiet last couple of days, but a big development in this one. It's not great news for Leeds United in regards to Jonathan David. So it's David even. Obviously, it's a bit of a domino effect, this. Lille today have sold Victor Osimhen to Napoli. So that, and it's a big deal as well. 60 million is the rumour price. 60 million. So it gives Lille a lot of money to replace Osimhen with. And again, it probably puts us on the back foot financially for Jonathan David. He's already mentioned, also already mentioned in the media, that he potentially favours a move to Lille over Leeds United. The reasons for that are unknown at the minute, and it's not actually been publicly confirmed. But this doesn't help our case, really, to be honest, guys. So as far as I can see, reading between the lines, it gives Lille huge finances to replace Osimhen with, and presumably Jonathan David would be the player to go for. Alfredo Morelos was initially linked, but Steven Gerrard has very much poured cold water on that one. He's very much playing that one cool, trying to his best by the looks of things to keep Alfredo Morelos, and very much playing hardball on that one. So logistically, it looks like Jonathan David have made an improved offer to Jonathan David of 30 million, and with the funds they have now, 60 million in the bank from Osimhen, they probably can go up to 40 potentially. And whether we can do that, who knows? But if we're going to a bidding war with Lille, we are on the back foot by the looks of things. Unless, of course, the San Francisco 49ers do put in a huge cash injection into the football club and it adds to our transfer budget. But guys, let's be honest, from Phil Hayes' article yesterday, which I'm going to refer to later on in this video. In fact, the next piece of news is going to be related to Phil Hayes' article. But as he said, we are looking more domestic-based players than international players, etc., etc. So maybe it's not the biggest player in the world. Maybe we're not actually that interested. It sounds like Watkins and Mitrovic are much closer onto the radar than Jonathan David actually was. I don't think maybe that was a little bit exaggerated, reading between the lines from what Phil has said. So maybe it's not that much of a blow. Maybe it's not that much of a blow. If we can get Watkins for a cheaper price, and we know we can do it in English football, then it's not the end of the world. But obviously, that a lot of it depends on the Championship Player Finals, doesn't it, guys? Joe mentioned yesterday, a lot of it depends on the Championship Player Final in terms of who we can get and who we can't get. But let's get on to the next bit of news anyway. So another name, it's been kind of mentioned a little bit. Not really any strong links to Gonzalo Montiel, but again, another fullback at the end of the day. Of course, Joe mentioned Florenzi yesterday. I loved how excited Joe got about Florenzi because he's a fantastic player from Roma. More of a wing-back for me. And Montiel, by the sounds of things, is more of a wing-back as well. He's been converted to Pablo Zabaleta, so obviously we know from that kind of comparison, he's both competent going forward and defensively. Again, I'll be honest, he's not a player I've seen a lot of. If he's a player I've seen nothing of, I've just literally gone quickly to YouTube and looked for compilations. But for a right-back, it's difficult to get any kind of proper compilations of him. Obviously, the Argentinian league, you can't really get many highlights from that either. So we're just going to have to go with their words for that one. But it's interesting going for wing-backs rather than full-backs. Are we potentially looking to change into a back three shape for much of next season? We know a lot of teams in the Premier League go with two up top, and Marcelo Bielsa tends to change to a back three when that is the case. So that is an interesting one, guys. It's an interesting development. It's Montiel. But the main thing is, guys, I don't care if we sign Trent Alexander-Arnold. Luke Ayling has to be one of the first names on that team sheet next season. Absolutely no doubt about it. If he's not, I'm going to be absolutely fuming, guys. So hopefully that one is one that we're going to get over the line as well. Another name mentioned a lot, Emiliano Buendia. This is just merely confirmation that we are in for Emiliano Buendia. It's just an advancement on Phil Hayes' article from yesterday, saying that we have actually made the initial contact with Emiliano Buendia. Obviously, he's a top top-player. Benjamin Bloom mentioned him on Saturday. He's a player who can make a real difference in that final third. He's a potential heir to Pablo's throne. So very promising one, that one, guys. Hopefully that's one we can get over the line too. And just the last bit of transfer news, a potential blow to our side Benrahma and Eberechi Eze chase. West Ham are now in the hunt for them. Obviously, it's always been in the rumours that West Ham have been looking at both players, but again, the point that I'm going to go on to with Benrahma is that a lot of foreign players do prefer the London lifestyle, prefer to stay in London. It's a big, big selling point to foreign players, and it's well known that in the transfer sphere as such. So hopefully that's not going to be too much of a blow. I think if there's a choice between Marcelo Bielsa and David Moyes, it's a pretty easy choice, guys, isn't it? It's a pretty simple choice. You go with Marcelo Bielsa. If you're an attacking player, you go with Marcelo Bielsa any day of the week. But that's a potential blow. Palace have also been mentioned in the links to Benrahma and Eze. So, potentially looking at established Premier League clubs here, it might have more funds than us, unless, of course, the San Francisco 49ers are going to put in a huge cash injection. But yeah, could be a potential blow that in our chase for side Benrahma and Eberechi Eze. But of course, again, especially with Benrahma, a lot depends on that Championship playoff final result as to how easy it's going to be. You've seen the fee mentioned of 20 million yesterday, potentially around 20 million in Joe's video, of course, covering Phil Hayes' article. There's going to be a lot of clubs interested in that price. You can be absolutely certain of that. So, guys, that is the transfer news anyway. Some done deals there looking likely. Gelhardt and obviously Edmondson's been confirmed. Jonathan David looks like a doubtful one. San Francisco 49ers, it's an interesting one, a big potential development in our transfer budget. And obviously Buendia and Montiel look like ones we're going for as well. And Benrahma looks like it's going to be much more difficult to seal that one. So, guys, just to finish off with as well, who will be joining us on the stream later on today, LUFC Lewis, as Joe mentioned yesterday, is now confirmed as top of the Pops. Of course, I'm sure you guys will know LUFC Lewis. He's a close friend of the channel. We've done plenty with LUFC Lewis over the last couple of years. I've known him for years. Leeds are going up, is now top of the Pop charts. Absolutely unreal achievement for Lewis and the whole team that put that together. And we will be joined by LUFC Lewis, Jinder Jade and Paul Wilson in an absolute bumper stream later on, talking about music and Leeds United. What could be better, guys? What could be better? All absolutely fantastic musicians put together fantastic music videos covering the beautiful football club that is Leeds United. So, guys, make sure you check that out later on. And if you can, download Leeds are going up and help LUFC Lewis out. Let's get into the top of both charts. Like Leeds United, let's get into the top of all the charts. Absolutely top fella. Close friend of the channel. Let's help him out. But buzzing to see him top of the Pop charts. Anyway, guys, so plenty of news for you guys. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with a better picture here, guys. I had to do this one off my phone. Apologies for that. I'm going to leave it there anyway. Make sure to check out Joe's last 4 of these. And yeah, plenty of content coming out this weekend. Cup final watch-alongs, playoff final watch-alongs. Make sure you check it out, guys. I'm going to leave it there anyway. I've been Oscar. See you later, guys.